Masiko, and it is for that reason that we are not prosecuting her along with her colleague.
But ategezeza nti abagenda okuvunaanibwa be bayingini abayingira mu kuwaayo ekyuma kino kya transmitter kya UBC okukozesebwa King's Broadcasting Services radio Kabakumba Masiko gyayinamu emigabo.
What we have implicates the UBC Corporation Officer, Operations Manager by the name Engineer Luja, and Businje Harrison, who is the Managing Director of the Broadcasting Service, which is in Masindi, as having been the persons who negotiated and had the UBC transmitter installed. And it's for that reason that they're the ones who we are going to charge.
Bano bolwaleero batwaliddwa mu kkooti evunaana abalyake ne baggulwako omusango ogw'okuyunga King's Broadcasting Service ku byuma bya UBC abatali kufuna lukusa. Bayingini bano mbadde Lujja ne Businge Magezi bakkiriziddwa okweyimirirwa. Kinajjukira nti abaka ba Parliament batabukira Kabakumba Masiko nkomerero y'omwaka oguwedde nga baagala kumusindiikiriza singa agana okulekulira.
Okuva mu kkooti esookerwako ku Buganda Road wano mu Kampala, Faith Nankunda oluusi abadde yeyita Nalongo Mulinde asindikiddwa ku alimanda eruzira gy'aliva okwewozaako ku by'okukukusa abawala ba kuno n'abatunda mu bwamalaaya e China. Nankunda ono emisango ebiri egimusomeddwa omulamuzi Sylvia Nabaggala ajeeganye.
Kigambibwa nti wakati wa Juni ne Septemba 2011 Faith Nankunda oluusi yeyita Nalongo Mulinde yakola kinene nnyo okutunda Farida n'abatanzi ne Janet Kemigisha mu bwamalaaya nga tebeeyagalidde. Bombi abawaaba bamulumiriza nti abatunda gwanzu mu China. Abawala bano bwe baatuuka eyo mu bantu omuwawaabirwa gye basindika beesanga bakakibwa kukola bwamalaaya, so nga mu Uganda bava basuubiza mirimu mirala. Mu birala okuva mu kkooti ejulirwamu mu Kampala, omubaka w'abakazi ab'ettolero mu NRM Sarah Chengo Pendi kkooti eragidde asigaze ekifo kye kino. Kkooti enkulu ettolero yali esazizaamu obuwanguzi bwa Cheng ng'egamba nti waliwo obujulizi obumala ku mivuyo egyakolebwa mu kulonda n'okugulira abalonzi. Muna FDC Kezia Nyakecho ye yali awabidde Cheng bwe bavuganya ku kifo kino.
Tubadde tuwonoona budde na buseera byaffe na ssente mu kkooti na wangula munnange n'obululu mutwale ena 41,000 mutwale na mu 10,000.
And though justice has been denied to me, but life continues, and that is not the end of my political road, because we know.
Ebyo bibadde mu kkooti. Mawulire amalala ge tulina ekayunga nga bulijjo ebyewuunyisa ate ng'olumu bisesa tebiggwayo. Agavaayo ku mulundi guno ga muvubuka ne gye buli eno atannamanya kyamutembye ne yeebereka ku nte. Bino bibadde ku kyalo kya Mpisi ekisangibwa mu ggombolola y'e Kayunga mu disitulikiti ey'e Kayunga.
Omuvubuka ono ateeberezebwa okuba ng'atemera mu gy'obukulu 16. Abagoba ba bodaboda abakolera ku luguudo oluva e Kyampisi okudda e Namulanda be baamuguddeko ng'ali ku nte yeefulubenda.
Tubadde ku piki musigala nte ng'agiriko waati omuvubuka n'agamba sooka osibe piki olusibye piki n'omuvukako wali ng'ali ku nte
Oluvannyuma omuvubuka ne tumubuuza kituufu ddala ntibaddeko n'agamba nti nange ndabiddeawo nga ekintu kinkudde nga njiwalampye naye kati kivuddeko.
Bano kye baakoze ng'emu ku ngeri y'okumubonereza baamwetoolozza ekyalo kyonna nga bwe bamuyeeyanga bwe yeefunidde omukyala.
Nakutwala eri mukazi wo lage engeri gy'omulinnyeemu ale tukutwale ku poliisi gy'oyagala.
Ye Namayanja nnyini nti egambibwa okukwatibwa yasabye abooluganda lw'omuvubuka ono okwabadde kitaawe ne jjajjaawe ekintu kimu kyokka kyakumugulira nte endala eno yo bagitwale.
Ati bagenda gula ndala era bagitwale batugulire
binsobedde nange kenyini binsobedde
ekyalina gyetunda owulira kati nze njagala mpente endala eri agitwale ate njagala bijja.
NTV we yaviiridde mu kifo kino nga Namayanja ne taata w'omuvubuka bakyali mu nteesaganya okulaba engeri y'okugonjoolamu ekizibu kino.
Njagala nte eyo kubona basebe.
Ebyo nno bye biva e Kayunga. Bwetuddako wano mu Kampala, poliisi etegezezza nga bwetagenda kuddamu kukkiriza nkuŋŋaana ezitegekebwa bannakisinde kya 4GC ng'egamba kino bakikoze lwa nsonga z'ebyokwerinda mu ggwanga so ng'ate mbu n'ebikolwa by'ekisinde kino gavumenti yabiwera dda. Mu bintu ebirala ebiwereddwa mwe muli n'enkuŋŋaana ezibadde zikubibwa mu bifo eby'olukale so nga n'ebyokwerinda mu masinzizo nabyo poliisi ekikkaatirizza nti birina okunywezebwa embagirawo.
Okusinziira ku Andrew Kaweesi, omuntu yenna n'asangibwa ng'aliko enkuŋŋaana z'akuba ng'akozesa ebina omuli 4GC ko FOC wakuvunaanibwa ng'amateeka bwe galagira.
Ebibiina babiwera era bikolera wabweru w'amateeka bulagezaako okukoleramu okuleetawo embeera eri mu ngeri eyo tujja muvunaana era ajja kubaako byannyonnyola kubanga ebibiina ebyo byonna byawerebwa.
Kyokka omubaka Mathias Mpuga nga mukwanaganya w'emirimu mu kakundi ka 4GC ayanukudde Kaweesi n'ategeeza nga bw'atalina busobozi kuwera nkuŋŋaana mu ggwanga.
Si mulimu gwe okuwa ebiragiro ebitali mu mateeka. Mulimu gwe nga owa poliisi kukwasa amateeka ate n'okukuma bannansi n'ebyabwe.
Mu birala ebiweereddwa poliisi mwe muli enkuŋŋaana ezitegekebwa mu bifo eby'olukale nga kino poliisi etegeezezza nti kikoleddwa lwa nsonga za byakwerinda.
Kale bano bonna babeera n'enkiiko bakuluseds ebweru ebyo tugenda kubagamba nti bazibeerenga nazo mu hall oba mu masinzizo olw'ebyokwerinda.
Kinajjukirwa nti abantu mu ggwanga lya Kenya bazze balumbibwa abatujju kyokka nga ku mulundi guno obutujju batandise kubukolera ne mu bifo ebisinzizibwamu. Wano nno poliisi weesinzidde n'erabula abakulira amasinzizo okutandika okukozesa ebyuma ebikebera abantu bonna baba bazze okusinza.
Tugenda kulaba nti buli kanisa, kereziya, muzigiti byonna waliwo enkola eyitibwa omuntu okuyingira mu ssinzizo eryo ate okubanga akebeddwa ebyuma bimukebedde n'abantu bennyini abakebera nga weebali okulaba nti ebifo ebyo tetufunawo obuzibu bwonna ng'ebikyabadde Kenya.
Mu kiseera kye kimu era poliisi eyongedde okunyweza ebyokwerinda ku bifo byayo byonna okuwala okulumbibwa abatujju nga bwe guze guba mu ggwanga lya Kenya. Julius Senkandwa, NTV.
Mu buufu bwe bumu obwo aduumira poliisi mu Kampala Andrew Felix Kaweesi atabukidde basajja be mu Kampala basanze ng'emirimu gye balina okukola batamatama mitamwetamwe. Aliko abasirikale babiri bassizza mu bitiibwa lwa butamanya kye bakola. Omukulu ono abadde alambula ebitundu ebitali bimu wano mu Kampala naddala ebyo bigambibwa okubaamu ennyo obumenyi bw'amateeka.
Kaweesi olwaleero abadde alambula emirimu poliisi gyekola mu kibuga wabula kimubuuseeko bw'atuuse mu bitundu ebimu ng'abasirikale be tebasobola.
Speak up and relax. They seem not to have any command here. And I'm disappointed. The one officer in charge is unable to explain. So, and this man should be promoted to be in charge of leadership. To lead some at a certain level, because you can see he's confident and he knows what he's doing. Instead of parading this one who cannot even talk. You get it? You rather have these customers who know what to do. We promote them to be officers, and this one to get out of Kampala.
Wanera wasinzidde n'alagira abasajja be okolaganira wamu n'abakulembeze b'ebyalo okusobola okulwanyisa obumenyi bw'amateeka mu kibuga.
I need crime preventers. New one, the old ones have become thugs.
Kaweesi era ategeezezza nti kaweefube ono abadde agendereddwamu okumanya omuwendo gw'abasirikale abali mu kibuga.
Waliwo n'abatakola nga bali ku mpapula bali ku lukalala lw'abakola naye nga tebakola. Ndabo bawe bali physically. Mbabale bambule bali bameka bali 30 nkakaze nti beebo.
Okulambula kuno kukoleddwa mu bitundu by'ekibuga Kampala ebisinga okulowoozebwa nti bye birimu obumenyi bw'amateeka nga Luwa Paaka, ewa Kiseka ne walala. Dini Lubowa Sava, NTV Akawungeezi.
Dini Lubowa Sava bw'atyo akomekereza ekitundu kyaffe ekisooka. Tugenda kuwumulamu katono. Tovaawo nkomawo n'ekitundu ekyokubiri nga mulimu amawulire amalala mangi. Enkayana ejjinja, abataxi bapondoose, abazirwanako batutte stage ya Caltex. Agambibwa okuba omusezi asatizza abantu, poliisi emukutte.
one of the most scary genres of music for me.
For me every day. Irifemasi nisu tadi magero.
Kwene embeera y'abasajja bano
essuubi nga lyakugwamu maama
bano abasajja bano abasajja abanaatera n'okujja kusigiriza ffe ekiro basituleko emiwumbo gy'emmere bagitwale
sogera byange kibanza bana bagambanga ne bagamba ne bweyagala nkubulira ebyange ja tugende emyanzi
mpulira abanyumya ababeera bakujerega waliko omusawo w'ekinnaasi
embeera y'abasajja bano
essuubi nga lyakugwamu maama
bano abasajja abanaatera n'okujja kusigiriza ffe ekiro basituleko emiwumbo gy'emmere bagitwale
sogera byange kibanza bana bagambanga ne bagamba ne bweyagala nkubulira ebyange ja tugende emyanzi
mpulira abanyumya ababeera bakujerega waliko omusawo w'ekinnaasi South Africa baba bakujerega obituufu
baba banjerega oyo mufere mubbi yennyini yeetaaga miggo
omuntu wa bulijjo tomuzannyirangako abeeranga dormant volcano
bwemba mukkiriza nina takuwa mugiyita
ate takuwa gobeera mugoberezi tolowooza nti buli mulimo oyogerera omusiraamu singa naakubuuza nti katonda yagamba atya
oba oli pasita ng'okyawa olimba obba oyenda olina abakazi basatu please heaven is waiting for you one day you'll pay and soon your time is out
otiisatiisa mmoni
sitiisatiisa nkubuulira
yeera y'abasajja bano
essuubi nga lyakugwamu maama
babeera y'abasajja bano
essuubi nga lyakugwamu maama
babeera y'abasajja bano
essuubi nga lyakugwamu maama
bano abasajja abanaatera n'okujja kusigiriza ffe ekiro basituleko emiwumbo gy'emmere bagitwale
sogera byange kibanza bana bagambanga ne bagamba ne
beera y'abasajja bano
essuubi nga lyakugwamu maama
bano abasajja abanaatera n'okujja kusigiriza ffe ekiro basituleko emiwumbo gy'emmere bagitwale
sogera byange kibanza bana bagambanga ne bagamba ne bweyagala nkubulira ebyange ja tugende emyanzi
mpulira abanyumya ababeera bakujerega waliko omusawo w'ekinnaasi South Africa baba bakujerega obituufu
baba banjerega oyo mufere mubbi yennyini yeetaaga miggo
omuntu wa bulijjo tomuzannyirangako abeeranga dormant volcano
bwemba mukkiriza nina takuwa mugiyita
ate takuwa gobeera mugoberezi tolowooza nti buli mulimo oyogerera omusiraamu singa naakubuuza nti katonda yagamba atya
oba oli pasita ng'okyawa olimba obba oyenda olina abakazi basatu please heaven is waiting for you one day you'll pay and soon your time is out
otiisatiisa mmoni
sitiisatiisa
I'll roll up. Put it down on me, put it down on me. Fire flame, spit.
G6, like a G6.
I think I'm Big Meech. I don't see nobody. It's the cat. I'll roll up. Put it down on me, put it down on me.
Fire flame, spit. G6, like a G6.
I think I'm Big Meech. I don't see nobody.
It's the cataract.
Lucini pouring from the sky, let's get rich, what? You can see a man's face, but you can't see his heart. I am Wale, Oluba. We be in the party like we own that bar. Tease me, baby.
Twesimye okubanga okyali ku NTV Akawungeezi. Kino ky'ekitundu kyaffe ekyokubiri. Abazirwanako mu kibuga Jinja nga bayambibwako poliisi baludde eddaaki ne bezza stage ya Caltex abavuzi ba taxi gye babagombyemu olunaku lw'eggulo. Bano olunaku lwajjo bagenze mu kifo kino nga baagala okukyefunza kyokka abataxi ne babatwala nga n'ennabugisi mufungize. Wabaddewo okuwanyisiganya ebisongovu nga n'abamu bakwatiddwa.
Abapoliisi beezobye n'abatakisi ejjinja abaaganidde ku stage y'okukawo taxi oluvannyuma lw'okunyomola ekiwandiiko okuva ewa ttawuni Kiraka nga kibagoba mu kifo kino kiddizibwe abaazirwanako. Waliwo omu ku bavubuka akwatiddwa nga ye Godfrey Budongo ng'ateeberezebwa okuba nga ye yatandise akeediimo kano. Wabula engeri poliisi gye yamukuttemu yanyizizza banne. Wamani wa Jinja Taxi Operators Association Khalid Muyingo agezezzaako okuwoyawoya banne bakkakane naye bo nga beeremye.
Naye temuntamiddeko butasiiba omusajja mbakwatiridde mwaka mulamba n'ekitundu waawe kitambudde bwe mbagamba nti nemereddwa mukkirize mba nemereddwa era bwe mbagamba tukwate lido mukwate muŋambye nze komanda wammwe ndi bagamba withdraw muganye kakati mba nkyali komanda wammwe.
DPC w'Ejjinja Jonathan Musinguzi ategeezezza nti bo ekyabalese mu kitundu kino kukuuma mirembe.
Grupu egezaako ki okukyankalanya okulaba nti embeera ebeera njamu okiraba just kola kavuyo okusasamaza abantu which is not called for. So kyava mulaba nti nga police present tuli wano okulaba nti teri muntu akosebwa oba n'emmotoka z'abantu zirimo okukosebwa emmotoka zirina okusaba nga zitambula n'abantu balala nga bakola emirimu gyabwe.
Mu kiseera kino bo abaazirwanako basanyufu olw'okufuna ekifo kino so nga ate bo baddereeva bateekateeka lukiiko n'abakulembeze ba Jinja Taxi Operators Association okusalawo ekiddako.
Ebyo bibadde Jinja. Abatuuze ku kyalo Katale mu zooni emanyiddwa nga Kazinga ku luguudo oludda Entebbe baliko omukazi gwe bakutte nga bagamba nti abadde abasera. Kigambibwa nti ono yasangiddwa nga yeekeja ku ssaawa 10 mu matulutulu ga leero era bagamba nti tamanyiddwa mu kitundu kino wabula tekitegeerekese bulungi oba nga abadde aliko ekikyamu ku mutwe era oluvannyuma bayise poliisi n'emutwala.
Yafubutuseeyo manju wange tusula wali ati ng'ayogera n'amanya kasooli wange wali okufuluma ebweru ng'amaze omumenye ngenza okulaba ali ku shedi ng'ali bwereere neŋŋamba sijja bisobola nenzirayo kati nenfuma ogwokubiri okulaba aba agenze era nagenze okufuluma nga taliiwo ng'amanyi akoze ekyo ng'amanyi agenze
aze nasika eddiisa lyange kakati walisise nze nempendula kati nembogera nti ani oyo kati najamulanga
atubadde tusiduka okuvaayo mu nju tumulengera atambula dduuka netufuluma omu n'ataliza ommanga nange nempitira wano abadde agezaako okudduka oyommanga n'amusalako bubi nnyo n'amukwata n'agabanamu abeezaamangu kwe kumunyeza ntumusiba emiguwa era kakati netumuteeka wano buli muntu amulabe.
Buli jjajja n'asika eddirisa lyaffe leero yasse ku lya mukyamu ne bamukwata ago mafuta ga Katonda.
Gavumenti ng'ekyali mu kaweefube w'okunoonya eddagala n'ebikulu ebifa ku kirwadde ekireetera abantu okunyenya emitwe mu mambuka g'eggwanga embeera yo yeeyongera kuba bubi. NTV yatuuseko mu bitundu bino gye yakizuulidde nti abantu bangi erudda eno essuubi lyongera kubaggwamu.
Lamwo, Padel ne Kitugumu ze disitulikiti ezikyasinze okukosebwa ekirwadde kya kinyeenya mutwe. twatuuseeko mu maka ag'enjawulo agakoseddwa ekirwadde kino ddala ng'embeera teyeegombesa. Abazadde abasinga abalina abaana abalwadde ebyokukola babivaako dda kubanga ebiseera ebisinga obudde babumalira ku baana bano kyenkana abatalina kye bayinza kwekolera. Kino kyongedde ku mbeera ey'obwavu era amaka gano ekifaananyi kino kigajjayo bulungi. Ng'oggyeko okubulwa ekyokulya olw'obutakola ebyokwebikka wadde okwalira omwana ono omulwadde nnyina wamma biwamme. Olw'okuba abantu bali mu kuyaayaana buli ke bawulidde kakubye badduka za mbwa. Wadde ffe tuli bannamawulire era nga twabadde tugenze kulaba mbeera eyogerwako bweri, ab'omu bitundu bino bwe baatuwulidde nti tutuuse mu ssaawa ntono nnyo baabadde batuleetedde abaana abasoba mu 10 abalwadde. Kaabadde kaseera kazibu ffe okubannyonnyola nti twabadde tetubaleetedde eddagala oba obuyambi obw'ekikula kyonna. Baatukaabidde ekizibu ky'amalwaliro agaateekebwawo okubeewala nga kizibu okutuusaayo abaana bano ab'okusitula obusituzi.
Actually, according to our attention, to make this one very much successful, all these care places, all centers, should be put within this, what they need.
Omugga guno naddala mu biseera eby'enkuba nga kati gukulukuta okuyita mu maka agawerako era bangi bagukozesa mu kufuna amazzi. Kyokka bagamba nti gwa bulabe eri abaana abalina obulwadde bwa kinyanyamutwe kubanga bangi kubafudde bagudde mu mazzi. Gye buvuddeko gavumenti yakyalira ebitundu bino n'esuubiza okubaako kyeyamba eri amaka agakoseddwa nga bw'enoonyereza ku nsibuko y'obulwadde buno. Irene Namyalo, NTV Akawungeezi.
Kulikanyo Irene Namyalo. Mukugezaako okudduukirira abantu abagwirwa ekibambulira ebududa Nation Media Group nga muno muli amakampuni nga NTV, The Daily Monitor ne radio ya KFM galiko ebintu byegawaddeyo. Muno mubaddemu omuceere, obuwonga, ebbafu eziwera saako ensawo z'ebijanjaalo nazo eziweze. Gye buvuddeko katono ekitongole kya Red Cross kyakuba omulanga eri abantu n'amakampuni ag'enjawulo okudduukirira abantu abafuna obuzibu ebududa.
You see this? As NTV, we would like to take this opportunity to send our message of condolences to the families that have been affected, both by loss of their loved ones and also by loss of their homes and the displacement that has happened. And we also take this opportunity to appeal to other corporates in whatever measure that they are able to reach out to these particular communities that have been affected.
Mulango twakuba gulina obuwumbi buna n'ekitundu naye tusanyuse nnyo okulaba nti bazze okutuyamba ne baleeta ebintu okusobola ng'emmere, buckets n'ebintu ebirala bingi okusobola okudduukirira abalina obuzibu ebududa, Silonko, Kapchora, Bulambuli, Queen n'Embale.
Weewaawo mu kaseera kano katugendeko mu katale k'ensimbi ate tulabe siringi ya Uganda nga bwekoze okusinziira ku ssente ez'amawanga amalala.
Akatale k'ensimbi kakutuusibwako
URA, developing Uganda together.
All vehicles are required to revalidate their registration using our new online module and get a new logbook. All newly imported vehicles will also be registered online using this new online module. Get out of the line and get online.
NTV Akawungeezi ekyaliwo nnyo. Tovaawo nkomawo nagava mu kisaawe ky'ebyemizannyo oluvannyuma lw'okuwummulamu kuno.
Collaborate and listen.
I sit back.
Give me hope, Joanna, give me hope, Joanna, give me hope, Joanna, for the morning come. Give me hope.
With different colors, one people, different colors, one people.
You got to know when to hold up, know when to fold.
Fieldwork has been defined by different scholars. Some think it is an art.
These are the blood types that are in human beings. We have A.
When a chemical reaction takes place, it involves two things.
We are given Fieldwork has been defined.
Your Saturday afternoons just got better on NTV with Exposed. Your Saturday afternoons just got better on NTV with Exposed. Join Cats and the Platinum DJs as they bring you some mad Saturday afternoons just got better on NTV. No one feels the motherland like we do.
Ideally, we all have the right to express our opinions and views truthfully and openly.
Atele lom tugenda katongole mbukasam.
Kampala bwerere mwasomo the buzz. Ideally, we all have the right.
He does not change.
And those who strike with you shall perish. I pray that
he does not change.
Chichi.
What's life?
Is life ugly?
Is it spiritual?
Chichi.
What's life?
Is life ugly?
To be honest, it's one of the most scary genres of music for me.
For me every day.
Irifemasini Jangweno.
NTV Akawungeezi n'agava mu kisaawe ky'ebyemizannyo. Ekibiina ekifuga omuzannyo gwa kickboxing mu ggwanga kyetondedde bannayuganda olw'omuzannyo gw'ekibogwe Golola Moses gwe yayolesa bwe yali azannya ne Mate Zamboki. Bano era bategezezza nga bwe bagenda okumukakasa akkirize okuddayo mu ddaala erisooka asobole okutendekebwa mu bukodyo bw'omuzannyo guno obutuufu.
Abakulembeze b'omuzannyo gwa kickboxing mu ggwanga bagamba nti n'okutuusa kati nabo bakyali baswavu olw'omuzannyo gw'ekibogwe Moses Golola gwe yayolesa ng'attunka n'omuhangale Mate Zamboki. Omwogezi w'ekibiina kino Eddie Gombi ategeezezza NTV Akawungeezi nti ekyakubizza Golola kyavudde ku kuba nti amala ebiseera bingi mu kwogera n'okukola katemba n'atassa mwoyo ku kutendekebwa.
Takola training wabula abeera mugu nadda mu simu nadda mu bino ogenda omulaba ng'omulaba mu muziki ogenda nti ayaniriza abantu ogenda n'obuuza nti jjukira ekikuleese okuba nti omanyika Golola Moses kiki kickboxing therefore nnaku traininga kati mu kifo ky'okutraininga yadda mu ku bigambo bino biri ogenda okwekanga nti nakoze.
Ategeezezza nti mu kiseera kino bakola enteekateeka okwogera ne Golola akakkane akkiriza okutendekebwa abatendesi ba kuno abalina obumanyirivu mu muzannyo gwa kickboxing.
Gola tugenda kufuna engeri gye tumuhandolingamu tumujje ku bantu bano abannakigwanyizi abamwesibyeko emabbali abamulemesezza okukola training. Tulabe nti tumukolera training asooka achallenginge bano abaawano wansi. Kubanga tetukyayinza kuleeta muzungu kuva Bulaaya teri ajja kujjayo. Twagala asooka afune challenge zaagwano wansi akuba abantu tuddemu tumubuildinge bulungi.
Wabula ebyaggololo okuddamu okuzanyaliza Mbokki Gombi abiganye n'ategeeza nti ejja kuba nsobi Gololo okgenda mu hangale ate nga n'awaka yalemereddwa okumukuba. Sam Mpoza, NTV Akawungeezi.
Are you ready to drink at the table of men?
This is NTV.
NTV Akawungeezi bwetyo bwegenze tetugenda kusobola batuusaako ntebereza ya budde olwakadde okutulira empinga. Nze Hatimana Lugwasekaya tosubwa amawulire amalala mu lulimi Olungereza ku ssaawa 3. Tova ku NTV beera bulungi weeraba.
To be honest, is one of the most scary genres of music for me.
For me every day.
Irifemasi nisu tadi magero.
Kwera embeera y'abasajja bano
essuubi nga lyakuggwamu maama.
Bano abasajja bano abasajja abanaatera n'okujja kusigiriza ffe ekiro basituleko emiwumbo gy'emmere bagitwale.
Sogera byange kibanda bana bagamba nga bagamba ne bwagala nkubulira ebyange jja tugende emyanzi.
Mpulira banyumya ababeera bakujerega waliko omusawo w'ekinansi e South Africa baba bakujerega obituufu
baba banjerega. Oyo mufere mubbi yennyini yeetaaga miggo.
Omuntu wa bulijjo tomuzannyirangako abeeranga dormant volcanic.
Welcome to the Art and Design Show. Coming up, we meet Uganda's inspirational veteran and waltzing to the tune of Uganda's ballroom dancing wizard. An accomplished watercolorist and oil painter renowned for his realism, a scream show artist. From pieces of intricate detail to more emotional, realistic and impressive works.
I'm a realist and I use watercolor, I use oil, I use acrylic, I do pen and ink. Yeah, I've taken deep interest in watercolor for one reason that although it's so difficult to handle, once you learn how to handle it, it takes a short time to produce work. So that's one of the reasons why I like it. The other reason is it gives you good accidents. every piece is an experiment, is a new experience. You don't get tired working in the studio. That's the other thing. And then sometimes it gives you amazing surprises, you know, what you'd never expected to produce. I was an abstract artist for a long time, but I reached a point and I could not answer certain questions. You look at a painting, someone asks you, what's this? You are the author and you say, I don't know. It is quite embarrassing. So I wanted to do something that I understand, and I wanted to do something that the public understands.
Amongst his vast collection, Taga's designs, mostly of primates and moths, have appeared on Ugandan stamps.
I did that, and many people have used that, but they definitely don't know the author, which makes me comfortable.
The spectacularly thick layering of oil paint adds a vivid three-dimensional texture and brings the paintings to life.
It's the eye, you know? I may start with these other shapes to get my proportions right, but when the actual work starts, I have to get my eyes right. The reason I paint gorillas is simply because I never used to paint wildlife, and gorillas are kind of close cousins to the human race. And because of the fact that I was doing the human figure a lot, I was kind of attracted to primate, which I painted a number of times, and then it introduced me to the other broad spectrum of wildlife. The sheer size of an elephant is, I mean, it blows your imagination. It's so big. That attracts you as an artist. And the texture on an elephant, you know, you are painting an elephant, it's almost a religious experience. You have to sit there and do all the textures on it. When I'm painting birds, it's their majestic, you know, expressions, it's their majestic dynamism when they are flying or when they are landing, or when all that drama attracts me to paint them. And in doing so, they exude so much beauty that many times I miss in my paintings, because you always miss the point. You always don't capture that. Many people say that, why don't you use a camera? Yes, it's actually easier to draw from life a bird than to use a camera, because many times you go out in the field to photograph a bird. You end up with beautiful branches, because the moment you clicked, the bird moved off. I observe these birds and I make what we call quick sketches, and then I also back them up with, you know, photographs. Then I go in the studio and then paint. There's a big problem when you are painting in the field. Balance. Sometimes the wind, you are going to be in the middle of painting and then the wind blows off the drawing board. It's a bit tricky.
Driven to understand the complex relationship between man and nature, Taga's art reflects the confidence and idealism in all of us.
I use my imagination basing on what I see. So I do not do spiritual art. No, I don't do that kind of thing. I am a realist, dead realist, realist. So that's the kind of, I see something small and I, you know, create something big out of it.
Taga's fascination of the human form and wildlife are characteristic of his canvases, and as such, his choice of Black Madonna and Child is a recurrent theme.
The African woman endures a lot of hardship. I know so many people know that, but I would also want to record it. I would also want to show it from an artistic standpoint.
For Taga, however, his inspiration was not a matter of studies alone, but lineage as well. His grandmother was an accomplished artist.
My grandmother was an artist, and when I was very little, she used to show me what she used to produce. And I started then to learn to draw and, you know, imitate the things that she was doing. The biggest challenge in art is the fact that you don't have a boss. You don't have a boss, so you don't have something to get. have something to take you back home. You are, you know, you live a bohemian lifestyle, too free. You know, you are liberated, but are you ready for that liberation? Maybe not.
His pieces have showcased in national parks nationwide and adorn many private collections.
I usually come home and do a bit of planting of stuff. My son loves football. I'm not a great fan of football, but because my son loves it, Joe, I go and play football with him or ride bikes in the evening. The one message that I would like to send out there to all the artists who might view this is that they are free, but they have to use their freedom with caution.
For Taga, the sky continues to be the limit. Weaving using plant fiber in Africa can be traced as far back as 4000 BC, way before weaving of cotton was introduced. Plant fibers such as millet stalks, grass, sisal was used. Weaving refers to the interlacing of two or more sets of fiber or yarns such that they cross each other normally at right angles. This is accomplished with a hand or power-operated loom. Here in Uganda, most weaving is done by women, and the products range from baskets to mats, hats, bags, wall hangings, and much more. These handicrafts are made from renewable natural fibers and dyes.
Emikeka tugiruka mu nsansa nyabo. Ensansa tuzigula mu wino oba kaleerwe.
Palm leaves that we purchase from markets locally, and we color them using natural dyes because our clients prefer natural to artificial dyes.
Okumixing eddagala lino natural colors ze tusinga okukozesa kubanga gye tutunda ebintu bino tebaagala colors za enzungu.
Rita explains the process of making a mat.
Omukeeka kati design tubana betumala okuyuza ensansa.
For the mats, we have splitting the palm leaves. We crisscross them into the desired designs. We continue interlacing them until it lengthens. We roll it and then sew.
Neguvaamu omukeeka omulamba nga kati gwe tutuddeko. Ekibbo tukiruka n'obuso oba n'enjulu nga osooka kuzinga kakeedo.
The process of making a basket is different. It starts with making a knot and working your way up, mixing colored straws to the very top.
Kana akatoba akatono. N'ogenda ng'otandika akatoba ako mpola nga kagenda keezinga nga keetooloola. Kati bw'oba oyagala kuluka kibbo kyakuweta wano oba otuuse okuweta ng'oweta okufaanana nga kino.
These unique pleated baskets are made from millet stalks and raffia woven in rich natural colors depicting the African arc. They can be used for storing jewelry and trinkets. Traditionally though, these baskets in a larger version were used to serve food, more precisely, millet bread. Nature deep bowls not too different from lidded baskets can be used to hold plant pots. Traditionally, they were used to serve food and as a unit of measure for grains and flour. In consultation with nature, these beautiful products are made using the grasses from the neighborhoods of rainforests abundant in Uganda. Today on The Flyer, we meet ambitious young fashion designers in the industry. Christine and Caroline ventured into fashion designing soon after university and have never looked back.
I did fashion as a course in Makerere University, Margaret Royal School of Industrial Fine Art. And after like 2 months from school, we started up a fashion house here with my partner.
Caroline gets her inspiration from everything she sees around her. However, she is quick to add that it's a combination of passion, imagination, and her creativity.
I get inspirations. While we were still in school, we were taught how to get inspiration modes, yeah? So you could get like something natural, or flower or something, or a leaf or something, and then you draw out of it. However, that used to work for courseworks. But now it's not like a general rule that I have to get a mood or something. I like Valentino. He does outstanding designs. They could not be really outstanding, but the finishing, the touch of decorating them. He does his beadwork. One time I watched he was doing it by hand. You know, people don't sleep, and these very old women, they do it perfectly. So when it comes to stage, it's really, I don't know.
Fashion designing and blending is not as easy as it may seem. Mixture of questions and feelings. What fabric, what color, what style?
I should say we were on pressure. It was a competition. It was a students' fashion competition. And we were all fighting for bronze, gold, and whatever, yeah? So really, we all fought to do what's best. And we were all winners there, I think, that day. I learned aggressiveness. Fashion designer has to be aggressive. Dressing a model is not easy. Showcasing a design is not easy. And someone actually liking what you've made is not easy. Many people like going to fashion shows and finding things that are treasures.
A distinctive character of modern day fashion remains its functionality.
Me, I believe in making things that a person will actually love to wear. Something that will go, not something that will stay in frames.
Here's your linen.
We use all kinds of materials. We use chiffon. We actually mostly would want to promote African fabric. We use African fabric.
Caroline and Christine stay focused and eager to seriously venture into the Ugandan fashion scene and continue to contribute to its development. If age is nothing but a number, then 82-year-old Christopher Kato is a true embodiment of youthful grace. Watching him glide gracefully across the floor exemplifies the nature of ballroom.
Ekyansikiriza kyali ekintu kimu ku baali nga bakatandika okuleeta mu sinema obwabeeranga mu buli kitundu kubanga tetulina bwasooka kubeera bwa mu motoka buli kyalo nga bagenda balaga.
When films had just been introduced in Uganda, I was attracted to the cowboy dances in them. I slowly started imitating them and practiced in my own way, and eventually learnt them. The return of World War II veterans also gave me a boost because they had an idea of the dance, and I learnt from them as well.
The word ballroom denotes a room where balls were held, that is, formal social dances. Balls were important social events in the days before radio and television. The word ball comes from the Latin word ballare, meaning to dance.
Mtambulidde mu ngeri yange yakwewagula bwewaguzi. Era olw'okuba nti wano amazina baali tebagatwalanga ekikulu. Naye nazinangamu bwe ndi nafunamu ku ssente bwange.
The society at that time didn't appreciate However, from the little money I made, friends advised me to try my talent abroad, and I did. The funniest thing is that I did not speak any English, but somehow got around easily because of my talent. I also acquired some books from Alex Moore School of Dance, which I returned with and further enhanced my skills.
Ballroom was.
I teach ballroom dances like waltz, foxtrot, quick step, tango, Viennese waltz, and Latino, which is a dance from the Latina countries.
Mo Brazil mo mo Spain mazina.
Dance is like a game and keeps one physically fit. It's an exercise that one does while enjoying the music. It's one of the best exercises. If you haven't gone to the gym, gone swimming, or otherwise, please go and dance.
These standard ballroom dances have diverse origins, rhythms, and tempos with one commonality. They are all danced by a couple, a man and lady, in a close hand formation. Kato has been a coach and mentor to numerous people within the corporate class as well as countless social dancers since the early 1990s. He welcomes people from all walks of life regardless of shape, size, or ability to his classes. His broad experience in both dance and advanced learning techniques makes his methods of instruction innovative, easy, and fun. So if you're ready to learn some dance and bring a little grace into your life, ballroom is definitely the way to go. And finally, the Reds African Fashion Design Awards in Uganda. The competitors included 3 established designers and 7 novices, out of whom the judges chose 2 winners from each category. Here are the highlights of the awards.
To Elizabeth, she wins $3,000 US.
I think the thing is to look at Africa and Uganda, because Africa is the future of fashion.
As you can imagine, it was hard creating things and then cutting them up and making them and then making sure they're perfect and, you know, putting them together. It was really hard. Then you get all the nervous tension and being backstage and all. But I'm so excited.
That's it for this edition of Art and Design. Remember, an artist must possess nature. He must identify himself with the rhythm so as to express himself in his own language. Join us next week for more. Until then, enjoy the rest of your viewing.
This is NTV.
The mountain gorilla is considered endangered species, with only about 720 mountain gorillas left in the world. And these live within 4 national parks split into 2 regions: Bwindi Impenetrable Forest National Park, Mahinya Gorilla National Park in Uganda, Volcanoes National Park in Rwanda, and Virunga National Park in the Democratic Republic of Congo. The gorilla is the largest of all living primates and has a robust build with long muscular arms, a massive chest, and broad hands and feet. It has other species, allowing it to live and travel at high altitudes where temperatures drop to below 0 degrees Celsius. The gorillas can be identified by nose prints unique to each individual. Male mountain gorillas stand up to an average height of 6 feet and weigh from 400 to 500 pounds, that is 227 kilograms, making them the largest of the great apes. Adult males are called silverbacks because they develop a streak of silver hair on their backs with maturity. The silverback is the leader and the ultimate protector of his band. Most active between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. Most of this time is alternated between foraging, eating, and resting. They are herbivores and consume large amounts of vegetation. Adult males can eat up to 34 kilograms of vegetation a day, while a female can eat as much as 18 kilograms. Females reach breeding age at about 10 years old. They typically bear young every 4 to 5 years, giving birth after a gestation period of 8 to 9 months. The mountain gorilla is generally shy but highly social and lives in relatively stable, cohesive groups of up to 35 individuals. These groups are made up of 1 silverback, 1 or 2 blackbacks, a few mature female juveniles, and infants.
Last week on the show, the Tricksters team showed how the security of your home could be invaded right under the nose of your housekeeper.
Hello, Mami. Munenze Francis wa boda. Omwana okazi wagame ampena chi computer yachi ya daddy kale.
A friendly customer could easily be a friendly thief.
Movao ompene ne sati kuganjagala nyumba kuno mukoli no kunyuma
Kala cheyo sati.
Genda ku suit ya black.
Oba cheja chenyendo kuwa.
And a preoccupied passenger could become a robbery victim in seconds.
Madam, help him well so that we leave the place. It will be easier that way.
Madam, hold here.
Hold him, Jumo Yame to Vewan. Vemuchejo.
And today, the Tricksters team of Albert, Edwin, and Felix has been joined by Ramla as she unleashes her feminine charm to show you yet more scams which have parted many victims from their money. This is Tricksters. Coming up on the show, a lady hands over all her money to some helpful strangers.
Kaji, where are you taking the bag?
Leave the bag with her.
What is the problem?
Old clothes for new. A customer pays a high price for an old ragged piece.
This one you'll put it on until you are tired of it. Even your grandchildren are going to put on this trouser.
And a salesgirl and her airtime are soon parted.
Scratch it. Zamina customer care, but now.
Hey there people, welcome to Tricksters. You're with your man, Peter. Now, a walk through the city reveals all sorts of individuals working hard trying to make money. Now, some are trying to do it the honest way while others are trying to con you out of your hard-earned money. There are many ways in which you can lose your money. These are some of them. Have a look. Right, so a recent study has shown that 20% of Ugandans believe in witchcraft, voodoo, African science, juju. So what have con artists decided to do? They've decided to invest. Some clever con artists have decided to take advantage of their situation and make a quick buck. Have a look. This con is mainly practiced outside banks, where one of the conmen is stationed inside the bank. As soon as he sees a customer who has withdrawn a large amount of money, he alerts his accomplices waiting outside. Then they spring their trap. This is Sonia, who is completely unaware that she is walking into a trap.
Hey, Banyama, excuse me, Banyama. What?
Bani.
Tubakoze bubi.
Olawo omwami oyo agenda.
Oyo.
Tumubanja milioni zaffe 28.
Wedu.
Nata ganyo zitusasula.
So what? Are we concerned?
Antikati. Laba, twamuteze eddagala wali. Alibuke. Ebisirani bimugendereko, esente ze zonna zimuggweko, business ze zife, katira wemubuse.
Echichi?
Laba wemubuse.
What? Chachagaza muno yokusa ddagala eryo. Oh my god. Tugenda kola tutya? Sokoleke ebisirani bina bigendera ko bigendera ku.
Ramla puts on an act which is designed to throw Sonia into a panic.
I can't go home with those bisirani. Please, what are we going to do? I have a shop. This is 1 million years ibiri. I have my kids. Isandi mukazi nizaddenze golaba. Banange eduka mwenzi yasendeze sasulira bana wange school fees. Senteze.
Sorry.
What if I don't work nengena nebya bisirani ku mulimu? What am I going to do?
Tukole wetuti. Bali innocent nnyo bambi. Tubayambe tubambulule. Tubayambe.
Ladies, now what you're going to do is we are going to help you get rid of all those cases. But you have to react as fast as possible.
See how we're going to react.
Kakati nayo buzibu. Twetaaga wali omuchi ogw'omuyembe omusajja wanono waweguli wano
nakawa ku stage
wamma ku stage weguli tugende mwine motoka tu.
Everything happens so fast. The victim is not given time to think clearly.
Yaba. La salakita. Abraka. The sindarasi. Abraka. Le singale. Abraka. Rondo sinda. Yabaraka baka. Los abraka.
Abraka. And now,
yes, sir.
You are going fast.
Yes, sir.
You go behind that tree. And when you reach there, open your arms like this.
Yes, sir.
When you open them, blow 3 times. How many?
3 times.
Yes. When you, after blowing, close your eyes and say the following words.
Yes, sir.
Ebisirani bigende bikunte n'empewo ezikunjira ku nyanja. Again.
Ebisirani byonna
bigende bikuntire kumpewo ezikuntira ku nyanja. And after, don't look behind.
Yes, sir.
Just walk straight.
Okay, sir.
And say ujiwoli, don't go with the bag.
Ramla gives her handbag to Sonia to gain her trust, and she hurries to carry out the commands of
unless you are kubikomyawo. So act immediately.
Mama, tofayo.
My God, this is so horrible.
Things will be okay.
I'll now end up like this.
Mom,
we shall work it out.
Mommy, don't worry. Mommy, don't worry.
Everything will go back to normal.
Yes. It will go back to normal, and you will forget that you ever stepped in witchcraft and you ever jumped in witchcraft.
You see, she has finished.
Her exaggerated relief convinces Sonia that she has to do this.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Mom,
thank you so
now
much.
You're the one next. You said the same word he told him.
Totally, and remember the rules. Don't look back.
Will she hand over her handbag?
Where are you taking the bag?
Leave the bag with her.
What is the problem? Don't go with the bag.
Don't look behind.
Don't.
Ebisirani bikunte ng'embuyaga ekuntira ku nnyanja. Oh my God! Banzibye mamaze satazaba ningena zisasuzachi.
This This kind of con usually has the conmen acting in pairs or groups, with one conman acting as the victim, in this case Ramla. Her role is to convince the victim, so they have to work together to overcome this catastrophe. Victims of this con have even been convinced to go and withdraw their life savings to remove the curse. One thing is for sure, if I were a con man, I would make money targeting people from the bank, but not one guarded by my Afande friend over here. Afande, see you. Now, the best con men know when to strike, especially when people are confused. They stop to think. Like now, I'm wondering, do I take this plain shirt or this striped one? More and more supermarkets and boutiques are springing up its outskirts. They have definitely made the shopping experience easier, but not everyone can shop here. The con we are about to see is mainly practiced by dishonest salespeople in crowded places like markets, bazaars, and roadside market days.
Hey, customer!
Adnan is out shopping for a decent pair of trousers, and he turns out to be the day's victim. Edwin, as the first conman, is ready to receive him in his shop. Edwin is working with Albert, who will come in later to confuse Adnan. The victim is impressed by the professional touch.
Let me have a look at
this. That's one. Blue, this one is of a very, very high quality. This one you'll put it on until you are tired of it. Even your grandchildren are going to put on this trouser. Even the sons of your grandchildren will put it on and they'll just get tired of that.
How much is it?
This one, at the Tuesday, this is only 150,000.
I have 50,000.
50,000? Custom. Sure. Kari, uweza kumi. The final price I want to give you 100,000 shillings. Zitunulire empale ogirabe.
Zezo zeninamu. Njirabye empale njirabye. Naye nga zezo zeninamu.
Customer. Alisi weza kumi. Nazo sente zongambye naye weza kumi nange mbe nga nfunako kyenfunyeko.
Kati kankole nti nyakole emitwalo 8.
Naawe misolo, renti, at the end of the day mbasiitawo. Anyway, you're a good man, you're a good customer. Kogenda. Customer, kale bambi yankuguze. Njikuwa gwe akubagwe. You are a very good customer and you're a gentleman. Shege, nene empale ya mitwalo 15. Mwasinza jimbo. Era saagala oddeeyo ngamba abantu ng'atebi. Ndo yambale. Ennaku enkulu zituuka. Oh, yeah. Customer, Bishibin. Bishibin? I told you 100,000 on pay mitwalo.
The shopkeeper sets out to confuse his customers. The victim is now confused and annoyed. Then the trap is sprung.
Customer, kale soko malaga dija. Kamalega kuwana ezini ngoye. Kale. Kale bye mwana. Tujja kulaba.
He is happy to go before another change of mind. the con has been successful and the rest is routine.
Got money. 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 Money mix. Mkubi. Kakati. Mtunoni na. Sigara huwa. Kati zinunza keleka.
Where is the man who was here? Huh? Where is the man who was here?
No, I don't know who is here.
No.
Any problem?
There was a man who gave me this trouser.
What's the problem?
Look at the trouser he gave me. Look at the trouser. This is not what I bought.
So this is UK, please. From the UK.
Sure.
Okay?
But this is not the trouser. Look at it.
No, please get up. Maybe you're in the wrong place.
No, out this shop.
You're a thief. I can even call the police. Get out.
Albert intimidates the victim, who wonders whether he has come to the right shop.
No sense. Move out. Go. Look at him.
For me, that was the best con. I'm telling you, once the customer was confused, there was no point of return. Now, I'm telling you, if I was a con artist, that would be the con I would use. But I can assure you, I'll never be one. There are a number of things I can't do without. I can't do without food, I can't do without water, and I can't do without airtime. Have a look. Many times cons are successful because they are carried out by the most unlikely people. Conmen posing as rich businessmen and driving flashy cars have many times got away with very simple cons. In this episode, Edwin is posing as a big-time businessman and Brenda for victim to his tricks.
Madam, get me airtime for MTN.
MTN? For how much?
10,000. Scratch it. Zamina customer care, banna.
He starts off with intimidation.
Hello, David. Yeah, this is James. Kati motoka zinaguza okuva I Japan namaze okuzikirialinga. Ne containers eza spare parts mamaze ziloadinga.
He makes her believe that he is a prosperous businessman. He is a rich guy, she thinks.
Yeah, yes, but hurry up, mwanguwe banai. Hello? This airtime of Uganda is so funny. You load 10,000, make a call abroad, and just a minute is finished.
No, international calls are expensive.
Okay, get me now for 60,000.
Still MTN?
Yeah, of course, MTN. Sorry.
He springs his trap. Will she bite?
Sebo. Bwoba tolina sente mbulira ne airtime wange nongo omunziriza.
Nedda. Wallet ndabika njerabidde wali mu motoka ku dashboard. Mpaye emitwalo 4. Kuba nina emitwalo 10 obwetaano so ati mbukuwe uletera change tusobole okwanguya.
Tolina change.
bambi yangu ngenda kutuma omwana agenda mukuleetera
This con works only because the sales girl cannot suspect the so-called rich man to be a thief. I mean, the gentleman drives a Mercedes, he talks big, how can he be a thief? Right. So the easiest way to con people is when you have a flashy car and a smart smile. Therefore, send your money to 0774 066 312. That's 0774 066 312, and I'll send your airtime back double the amount you sent me. That's it for today. Keep away from trouble, and you know you'll be in trouble, and it will be big trouble if you don't want tricksters. Next time, I'm Peter. Have a good time.
This is NTV.
On this edition of Rendezvous, New Kid on the Block. Plus great dance moves in corner dance, and find out which videos have made it to the Rendezvous chart. On the Ugandan music scene, rhythm and blues cannot simply go without the name Desire Luzinda. Unlike many upcoming artists, Desire has gone an extra mile to launch herself in the music industry by undergoing vocal lessons. Desire is not confined to a particular kind of music. She does a mixture of music styles ranging from R&B, Afrobeat, reggae and dancehall. She has come a long way from the time she decided that music is her future and started singing. There have been ups and downs in her private life and melodiously as well. On today's edition of Rendezvous, we have one-on-one with Desire Luzinda.
I was born in a family of 7. My father is Mr. Luzinda Jamada and my mother is called Imelda Byanyima. I'm the 5th born out of the 7 kids. I went to Uganda Road Primary School, then Omega College School for my O-level and Makerere High School for my A-level. And I'm still pursuing my further studies.
In 2006, Desire started singing professionally. She released her first single, Nkomye Wo, off the 10 melodic album.
Nkomye is a song that talks about a married couple that was apart, and a lady comes back, the wife comes back and apologizes to a man. I found it very, very touching and something people go through, you know. The reason as to why people break up in marriages is because they do not understand each other, and probably no one is willing to apologize or take the blame. I find it very touching, very, very touching. Even when I sing it, I feel the song. I imagine, you know, that kind of woman who comes back and says sorry.
The album has other tracks like Mubite, Mukwano, and Nkomye Wo, which mentioned but a few.
I just put myself in, you know, I just take the message and try to like put myself, I put the love bit of it, yeah. If it's an emotional song, I'll try to put myself in that position, just like Nkomye Wo. I really try to put myself in that position of a lady saying sorry to a man. I think that's what drives me.
In her search for excellence, Desire has done some collaboration with musicians like Mr. Mosh and Chaga, formerly of the Leon Island, now with Firebase Crew. Mid this year, Desire came back with another hit entitled Mubite, where she acts as the lovebird. Through the song, she tries to tell lovers how to treasure each other.
It's more of a love song to take lovers out. Basically, it's all about treating someone you love real good. Yeah, because to me, it's a package. You know, you love someone, you care for them, share good moments with them, and of course, bad moments chip in, but you don't give up. You keep treating them real good. You enjoy the best of every moment together.
She decided to do her lyrics in Luganda.
This is our country. We're Ugandans, we're local artists, and I think the biggest crowd in Uganda loves the Luganda, the local language. Yeah, they love that kind of music, the songs in the mother tongue. So, of course, I first started with Weekend Party in English and Kiswahili, but it didn't break through as much. Though there are people who like it, yeah. But when I sang Komieo, sometimes I get on stage and people know the song. It feels good. So I get a feel. I think people would love to listen to songs that are language.
Desire cited Mariah Carey as the greatest influence on her singing technique, and from a very early age, she attempted to emulate her high notes to rising degrees of success as her vocal range stretched.
Personally, it was Mariah Carey. Oh my God, I used to sing more of her songs, you know. Even when like my sisters or my mother got mad at me and somehow I'm not okay, I would just go and listen to the music and just feel okay. So it gave me the courage to get there, to want to get there, and I would really love to get there. I might not be Mariah Carey because I can't be Mariah Carey. Greater heights.
What's the future plan, and how is her marital status like?
I want to be a business alongside my career in music. I believe I'll be a big artist, not only in Uganda, but even out there, because I'm really working hard at it. And I believe I can make it. I've never thought of falling out of the industry.
Though the audience appreciates her music, like all rising stars, she has faced her fair share of challenges.
Music is not easy at all. It's not easy. You know, sometimes you do a song in studio and you think people must love it, because the fact that you find it nice, you think they will love it, and you get disappointed. But one thing that has really kept me going is I strongly believe I'll make it one day, and despite of the fact that people might not appreciate my music immediately, or you know, the moment I put it out of studio, I just feel like I want to do more and make them love it.
Without a doubt, Desire is one very promising upcoming female artist in Uganda.
But I didn't know the secret behind this move. You should have let me know. And now that I know, I'm not staying here. 'Cause baby, you're
in a big trouble. Me a done now with your bike a long battery. I can't believe I me out. To be my baby. You were never meant to be. Well, I him got him on you. Oh. Smarty about me.
Tusaidiane mwenye rana shida, simdharau mwenye njaa kwa kuwa wewe umeshiba. Maisha safari ndefu isiyoeleweka, leo wewe unalia mwenzako kule anacheka. Usitukuze tu mwenye nyumba na gari, kumbuka maskini na utajiri zote hali. Unavyodhani ndivyo sivyo, sivyo ndivyo, dunia ndivyo ilivyo, kuna wana matatizo. Kama leo umepewa basi mshukuru Mungu, na kama umekosa ongeza bidii na sio ndumba. Mwezio kiwa
babiri okukola nituronda sente tubeho
Nangirira omwaka gwa Mukama ogw'okuganja akkiriza okuzimba ku nnyumba kale mugunozimba.
Our star today is Pastor Wilson Bugembe, who grew up in some of the worst conditions a person can go through. During his early years, the young Bugembe lived through unfortunate trials and temptations. This include the loss of his two parents, death of his siblings, and untold suffering for over 4 years as a street child. After the death of his parents and siblings, Bugembe faced life all alone. He was mistreated by those that had earlier on promised to help him. With no shoes, one yellow shirt and a pair of shorts, Bugembe left home and decided to face the world alone. As of today, Pastor Wilson Bugembe is one of the best gospel artists in East Africa. From grass to grace, the singing pastor is indeed Uganda's gospel shining light. His life is a clear testimony. His breakthrough song was Jagala Kumanya. The song sold out and received massive airplay on both radio and TV stations. At this stage, however, the gospel music fans were not yet so familiar with the person behind this life-inspiring hit. From Jagala Kumanya, Pastor Bugembe, when he released yet another song titled Komaweka. These two sold out highly and was followed by other inspirational and social awakening hits. When you try to analyze Pastor Bugembe's projects, your conclusions will be far from the genuine reality. The fact is, Pastor Bugembe is simply unpredictable. Unlike the majority of gospel artists who only sing worship and inspirational songs, the pastor does the same, but goes a step further and adds a lot of spice in his projects. His songs inform, inspire, counsel, educate, entertain, and also manifest God's manifestation of talent. Even on a bad day, Pastor Bugembe's songs just have a way of wearing a long-lasting smile on your face.
Ine, wacha mchezo, uba matabagaja gaje, nja kugamba, stop, chuka, genda, makabwa ise.
I think this is the time for us to begin acting firmly. That we do not only raise these issues, but we get these officials of government charged, prosecuted, and sent to prison.
Back to haunt.
Parliamentary report pins 3 former cabinet ministers in Bosch National IDs project.
So all the details tonight, as 3 former cabinet ministers and high-level technical officials of government are implicated in the mismanagement of the National Identity Card project.
And as opposition pressure group For God and My Country members plan to renew their activities tomorrow, police have come out to ban all their activities with immediate effect. Be sure to have your say in our NTV poll tonight.
Good evening and a warm welcome to Tuesday's edition of NTV Tonight. Let's now have a look at the rest of the headlines.
Off the hook, DPP drops charges of theft against former minister for the presidency, Kabakumba Masiko.
We are not going to allow any activities, political activities in the form of rallies.
Police bans all 4GC activities as it moves to tighten the noose on all public gatherings.
Sweet victory at last. State Minister for Lands retains parliamentary seat in decisive Court of Appeal verdict. Good evening and thank you for joining us here on NTV Tonight. I am Faith Ariel.
And I'm Gabriel Apeno. Thank you for joining us. Now, the Director of Public Prosecution has dropped charges of theft of a transmitter and broadcasting equipment against former Minister for the Presidency, Kabakumba Masiko.
The former minister and also Bujenje County MP was forced to resign in December last year after allegations that she has been illegally using property of the public broadcaster UBC for Kingdom FM, where she owns shares.
However, the DPP found 2 engineers culpable and they were charged before the Anti-Corruption Court today.
Maurice Ochoa has the details tonight.
It was December 14th last year when the former minister for the presidency, flagged by her friends and her husband, announced her resignation from the cabinet.
I wish to take political responsibility. I have enjoyed every moment of my service to my nation, always mindful that I should not let down the trust bestowed on me by the president and the people of Uganda. However, to err is human.
It came after intense pressure mounted on her in a meeting at State House by both the cabinet and the nation to vacate her seat. But after 6 months of scrutiny by the Director of Public Prosecution, she has been cleared of theft.
And we are convinced that the evidence that they have is not sufficient to sustain any criminal charge against the former minister, Honorable Kabakumba Masiko. We have looked at minutes of the board, we have of the broadcasting service. We have also considered telephone printouts, we have considered any other kind of communication, and we do not have evidence that shows to us that the Honorable Kabakumba Masiko was aware or that she was involved in the diversion and the use of the UBC transmitter by King's Broadcasting Service.
Kabakumba was accused of using a transmitter and other broadcasting equipment belonging to Uganda Broadcasting Corporation, the public broadcaster, without paying for them. This happened while she was still Information and National Guidance Minister. Police recovered a UBC transmitter from her radio station, King's Broadcasting Service, in Masindi district. Even if the DPP found no incriminating evidence against the former minister, it's not yet clear whether she might retain back her former position as the Minister for Presidency, so she tendered in her resignation later. But the DPP says Operations Manager of UBC, Godfrey Luja, and the Managing Director of King's Broadcasting Service, Harrison Magezi Businje, have a case to answer.
What we have implicates the UBC Corporation Officer and Businje Harrison, who is the Managing Director of the Broadcasting Service, which is in Masindi, as having been the persons who negotiated and had the UBC transmitter installed. And it's for that reason that they're the ones who we are going to charge.
The two appeared today before the Anti-Corruption Court and were charged with 6 offences, among them abuse of office, causing financial loss, theft and fraudulent appropriation of power. They were released on a bond of 2 million shillings cash and sureties 10 million not cash. Research all, NTV.
3 former cabinet ministers and higher-level technical officials of government have been implicated in the mismanagement of the National Identity Card project. The National ID scandal led to the mismanagement of over 200 billion shillings. Those implicated include former Attorney General Professor Kidu Makubia, former Internal Affairs Minister Kirunda Kiveidinda, former ICT State Minister John Chrysostom Alintuman Sambu, and the current Permanent Secretary of the Internal Affairs Ministry, Dr. Stephen Kagoda. The Parliamentary Committee on Defence and Internal Affairs tabled the report before Parliament this afternoon, which implicates them. Jingo Francis with tonight's top story.
Since the National ID project took effect in 2004, only 400 identity cards have been produced, but to only high-profile Ugandans. Government signed a contract with the German company Murba, worth 64 million euros, about 200 billion Uganda shillings. Due to the delay into the implementation of the project, Parliament directed the Defence and Internal Affairs Committee of Parliament to probe the award of the contract to Murba. And this afternoon, the committee has finally tabled its report, which implicates former ministers and the Permanent Secretary in the mismanagement of the 200 billion project. Those implicated include former Attorney General Professor Kidu Makubia, former Internal Affairs Minister Kirunda Kiveidinda, former ICT State Minister John Chrysostom Alintuman Sambu, and the current Permanent Secretary of Internal Affairs Ministry, Dr. Stephen Kagoda.
Murba company was irregularly procured. The government failed to adhere to the PPDA regulations and laws, occasioning certain losses which should have been avoided altogether. And as such, the personnel, the officers, the officials, both political and technical, who have been named in the report, according to their levels of responsibility, be penalized, including taking full responsibility for occasioning or mismanaging that process.
The former minister, Mr. Alintuma Nsambu, who for some reason consistently lied to this committee. That's evidence that has everything to do with this matter. And here is also running to come to Parliament and be a member of Parliament. Do we want thieves in Parliament? Uganda is tired of public thieves. We have the PS, Internal Affairs, scandal after scandal. Now, for some reason, he consistently rejected the advice of the PPDA.
We have already come up with what we call the anti-corruption bill, which is going to be so stringent and so tough, which will be able to deal with these unscrupulous and corrupt people who are trying to spoil the good intentions of the government.
The report recommends that former Minister Ali Kirunda Kiveidinda, as the overall political head, should take full responsibility for the anomalies and the losses incurred. It also recommends that investigation should be carried out relating to the funding of trips to Germany by former ICT State Minister John Chrysostom Nsambu. That Nsambu falsified titles of his 2 associates as ministry technical officials and traveled with them to Germany to assess Murba, the company which was single-sourced contrary to the PPDA guidelines. Nsambu is currently battling for the Bukoto South parliamentary by-elections. It has also recommended that the former Attorney General, Professor Kidu Makubuya, takes full responsibility for the irregular clearance of the procurement of the company in total disregard of PPDA guidelines. The Permanent Secretary, Dr. Stephen Kagoda, has not been spared either. Others to be investigated is Igara East County MP Mike Mawanda Muranga for his business interest in a company called Contec and the National Security Information System. The report, however, exonerates former Finance Minister Saida Bumba from any wrongdoing and Bank of Uganda. It is coming at a time when the government of Uganda is proposing a cost sharing to print national IDs for all Ugandans.
My message, you have so much to do with your money. Please do not spend even a coin, not even 100 shillings, on supporting the ID project. We must first get an explanation and have the 200 billion returned.
It's something Parliament is going to reject and fight. We want government to provide free IDs to its population like other countries.
Jingo Francis, NTV, Parliament.
Now, as opposition pressure group For God and My Country members plan to renew their activities tomorrow, police have come out to ban all their activities with immediate effect. Kampala Metropolitan Police Commander Andrew Kawesi said this is due to continued terror threats in the country and it's hoped that such activities could be terror targets. Police has also ordered all places of worship to install detecting machines to counteract terrorism threats. Julius Sekandwa reports.
We are not going to allow any activities, political activities in the form of rallies or gatherings in agitation of FOC programs because by all means FOC or 4GC was declared illegal.
This move, according to the Kampala Metropolitan Police Chief, is aimed at counteracting terror threats faced by the country, bearing in mind the recent attacks in neighboring Kenya. Andrew Kawesi warns that whoever organizes a rally or a demonstration risks to be charged with terrorism.
We would like to pass a very, very stunning warning. And this time around, we are not going to be soft. First, we are confronted with terrorism. And if those agitators do not see the problem at hand, then we shall categorize them to be agents of terrorists.
I do not know whether he has a date with the terrorists, that they have advised him on when they will stop. I don't know whether he's going to cancel weddings, he's going to cancel funerals. So his pronouncement is political, and every right thinking Uganda should simply ignore him because he's simply politicking.
The police have also banned outdoor gatherings, saying these could be targets for terrorists. The new security guidelines will now require all gatherings to be indoor, and such venues have to be qualified by police.
We are not going to joke with public security. Anything that is organized and does not conform to the standards of security precautions or measures, we are not going to allow.
The other security move by police is to force security detective machines at all places of worshipping. This is based on the recent change of trends in terror attacks in Kenya, where 2 simultaneous bomb blasts targeted churches in Gasira, northeastern Kenya, killing 17 Kenyans and injuring scores of others.
We have realized we need to secure such places, and therefore we are going to put security measures, access control at churches, which have not been the cases, and we appeal to those religious bodies which manage churches to adhere to this. It is for the safety of the public.
The tightened security will also affect police stations, especially for the Kampala Metropolitan Police.
Speak up and relax.
Meanwhile, the Kampala Police Chief has ordered for the transfer of 2 police officers attached to Alwa Park over neglect of duties.
We rather have these constables who know what to do. We promote them to be officers, and this one to get out of...
Julius Senkandwa, NTV.
Well, it is on this issue that we would like to hear from you on tonight's NTV poll, and we are asking, do you support the police's decision to ban public gatherings outdoors? Do you support the police's decision to ban public gatherings outdoors.
To have your say, text 8778 followed by yes and a no, as well as your name and where you're texting from, and we shall be reading some of your comments during tonight's newscast, as well as bringing you the final poll result for tonight.
Okay, in some news from the courts, a Kampala businesswoman, Faith Nankunda, also known as Nalongo Mulinde, has been remanded over charges of human trafficking. Court is expected to hear evidence in which prosecution witnesses will testify that Nankunda facilitated the transfer of 2 Ugandan girls to Guangzhou in China, where they were forced into prostitution. Elsewhere, the Court of Appeal Tororo woman Member of Parliament and State Minister for Lands, Sarah Achieng Opendi, has retained her seat after a High Court order for re-election was overturned.
Faith Nankunda has denied 2 charges of aggravated human trafficking and trafficking a person. It is alleged that between June and September 2011, the accused undertook to facilitate the transfer of Janet Kemigisha and Farida Nabatanzi from Uganda to Guangzhou in China. On arrival to Guangzhou, the 2 women were forced into prostitution, contrary to Nankunda's promise that they would get into decent employment while there. Nankunda, who had no lawyer to represent her, was remanded until 20th July. Other human trafficking cases are expected in court after a number of girls returned from the Middle East, where they claim they were sold into forced labor and prostitution.
I agree with the reasons.
Meanwhile, Sarah Achieng Opendi, the Tororo woman Member of Parliament, who also doubles as the State Minister for Lands, retains her seat after justices of the Court of Appeal overturned the High Court order of a re-election. FDC's Kezia Nyakecho filed an election petition against Achieng, claiming the NRM politician bribed voters and facilitated a spin of the election results.
I'm just an ordinary woman who came from the public service to join politics. I was not in parliament before to have all those colossal sums of money to go bribing people around.
And though justice has been denied to me, but life continues, and that is not the end of my political road, because we know.
Now, the likelihood of the LC4 slot within the local council system being scrapped is apparent following today's tabling in Parliament of the Local Government Amendment Bill 2012. Local Government Minister Adolphe Mwesige has said that government reviewed the relevance of the docket and found it non-functional and costly. The bill also seeks to enable the transmission of the electronic voters register to registered political parties and organizations in the case of local council elections.
The disbandment of the LC4 position within the local council system could be in the offing as government seeks to abolish county councils that have since been overshadowed by the more effective district councils. The LC4 docket is made up of municipality chairpersons. Local Government Minister Adolphe Mwesige, who tabled the Local Government's Amendment Bill 2012 in Parliament today, notes that scrapping the docket has been in the pipeline.
We have many areas where you find the district council, which is one county, duplicating the work of the local council 4, which is also a county. The purpose of the county council was to supervise the work of sub-county councils.
It is also believed that the functions of LC4s having reduced, doing away with them will also enable government cut back on its expenditure at county level.
It is the councils, the sub-county councils in a county that sit and elect from among themselves a person to be the chairman and then the other person to be the vice chairman. And the maintenance of these 2 offices has always been out of the local revenues generated by the sub-county councils. So if this office is removed, the implication is that the sub-county councils shall not now have the burden of maintaining an office that has no local government role it plays on daily basis.
However, if passed, it goes without saying that the bill will leave a bitter taste in the mouths of current municipality chairpersons and in effect possibly have future political implications.
But shall affect the person that has been calling the office in the names of the chairman or in the names of the vice chairman.
It also requires the Electoral Commission to provide as soon as practicable after nomination but before polling day an updated electronic version of the paper copy of the voters' register to political parties and organizations participating in local council elections.
We'll go for a short break at this point, but there's so much more ahead on NTV tonight.
The forever-present burden. Families of children with nodding disease struggle to access health centers.
And on the farm tonight, Ali Ajura, a fish farmer, making the best of the situation in Amuria. NTV Tonight continues after this short break. Stay tuned.
This is NTV.
Kwene embeera y'abasajja bano
essuubi nga lyakugwamu mama
bano abasajja abanaatera n'okujja kusigiriza ffe ekiro basituleko emiwumbo gy'emmere bagitwale
sogera byange kibanda bana bagambanga ne bagamba bwagala nkubulira ebyange ja tugende emyanzi
mpulira banyumya babeera bakujerega waliko omusawo w'ekinansi South Africa baba bakujerega obituufu
baba banjerega oyo mufere mubbi yennyini yeetaaga miggo omuntu wa bulijjo tomuzannyirangako abeeranga dormant volcano
bwemba mukkiriza nina takuwa mugiyita
ate takuwa gobeera mugoberezi tolowooza nti buli mulimo oyogerera omusiraamu singa naakubuuza nti Katonda yagamba atya
oba oli pasita ng'okyawa olimba obba oyenda olina abakazi basatu please heaven is waiting for you. One day you'll pay and soon your time is out.
Otisa moni.
Sitisa. Mkuburira Yesu talimba.
Ebintu mbimala mulundi gumu. Kati what is I love peace.
Gwokola bi.
Wega seno omusajja mutwale mabi.
Ebyo birowoozo byone yagenda n'atata birowoozo ebyo simanya malitaye birowoozo byone yagenda n'atata.
In Star Profile today, we look at IJ's other half, Irene Namubiru. She had her education at Mitiana Senior Secondary School.
Welcome back. We start with a reminder of our NTV poll question for tonight and some of your responses. We asked, do you support the police's decision to ban public gatherings outdoor? I'll say that again. Do you support the police's decision to ban public gatherings outdoor?
Well, to have your say, text 8778 followed by a yes or no. And where you are texting from, let's now take a look at some of your comments.
Okay. Chiberu Samuel, you say, now we see how political our police force has become. They are here to serve Ugandans and not dictate to them or step on their God-given and constitutional freedoms. In my opinion, it's a big no.
And Wamakala from Mbale says, yes, police is right because they are to protect us.
Well, and this is our tentative poll result stands for now. 37% of respondents do agree that police is right in stifling these gatherings, while 63% of you say no.
Well, stay tuned as we shall be bringing you more comments and tonight's final poll result at the tail end of tonight's newscast.
Indeed. Moving on, the 43rd Commonwealth Parliamentary Association for the Africa region has officially opened in Sandton City, South Africa, with a call on African parliaments and governments to work towards the proper utilization of the discovered oil and other natural resources in order to achieve independent economies.
The South African Home Affairs Minister Nkosazana Zuma, while opening the conference, encouraged members of parliament from the Commonwealth member states to work together with their governments to enact laws that ensure that foreign oil companies do not deprive the continent of the money accrued from oil.
We need to take control of our mineral resources. We should beneficiate and also ensure that we do get sufficient benefit from these mineral resources. At the moment, the company doing the extraction, stroke beneficiation, gets the resources and gets the financial benefit, whilst the countries and its people receive very little. Simultaneously, we have to confront the challenges of illicit outflows of capital that rob the continent of much needed resources for its development.
We should make resolutions that recognize the importance of women and also call for their full participation in strengthening legislative oversight, accountability, and deepening democracy, and to help consolidate growth and development. Importantly, I look forward to see resolutions that will ensure that the scourge of corruption is eradicated from the African continent, because it is costly to the people of Africa.
Budgets. Also, the scourge of terrorism has found its way to our continent on a scale that is frightening. Instability in every African country means instability for its 4 or 5 neighboring countries. We must, as parliamentarians, find ways to ensure that through the provision of good governance, through provision of support for the growth of democratic institutions, this would help us to reduce the level of instability. Our people must be allowed to choose who will lead them through a democratic process.
Now, just when you may begin to think you have seen the gruesomeness of nodding syndrome in its entirety, you get to meet other people struck by worse effects of this debilitating disease, which, according to the Ministry of Health, has affected over 3,000 children and claimed the lives of over 200 of them in Lamo, Kitgum and Padé districts. NTV's journey into the stricken districts of the north continues in Padé district, Laguti parish in Lagoti Wech village, where residents are crying out for health centers to be brought closer to them. There seems to be no hope in the traveling longer distances to get medicine for a disease which they cannot comprehend. Here is Florence Nawimba.
As we continue to traverse the northern Padea district, our next stop is Lagoti Wech village. And we arrive at the doorstep of 15-year-old Marvin Upuka, whose skin has almost been stripped off by the cruel effects of nodding syndrome. His mother, who has been doing some chores outside, finally joins him. Marvin forlornly spends his time seated or sleeping on bare ground. The pain he must feel when he falls down, watching him through the camera lens, leaves us paralyzed with shock. He can't cry, and it is not because he's being a man. He just does not have the energy to cry, however much he may want to. Shedding tears is torturous. This is the torture he endures each and every day. He is finally brought out for an evening breath, and signs of malnourishment are visible. The mother tries to care, but how much can she do for a son who won't stop being sick from a disease that no one in the village understands? And as we have a chat with her, Word has already spread across the village that some help has arrived. One by one they come. On a bike, riding with determination, comes this man with another child, a 15-year-old boy whose energy has been dwindling over time. He looks dazed and confused. More continue to come, each with their own devastating effects of nodding syndrome. This gentleman helps us tell them that we are journalists here to carry their plight to the concerned authorities.
My request for the government, build the hospital was near for us to take this boy to hospital. Another problem we have, food. There's no food.
In fact, the nearest health center is Laguti Health Center on Gulu Road and Okidi Health Center 3 in Kitgum district, a distance which can take someone hours walking, meeting with danger along the way. The leading cause of death amongst children with nodding syndrome is drowning, and it happens that most areas where they live, they are surrounded by rivers. Another cause of death is fires and falling on dangerous objects.
So the most important thing, we need all these supplies, like dressing material.
Some who make it to the health centers are given medicines, but these are misused.
Unknowingly, they tend to throw them away. Or whenever they collapse on their way, that's I believe the drugs there.
Emphasis has been put on caretakers being more vigilant, but they have to work. In his local dialect, this gentleman labors to elaborate what happens to his son. Yes, vigorous nodding of the head is always the first symptom recognized among children with nodding syndrome, and the name came about because of the head shaking, which mainly occurs when a child is given food or is in the cold. It is getting cold and later in Lagoriwech village, and this boy just will not stop swaying. Marvin's mother is crooning him like a baby despite his 15 years of age. As we leave, the rain starts. Tonight, many of the affected children here may spend it nodding their heads and having seizures. Florence Dalimba, NTV Kitgum District.
Now let's take a look at more stories making the news across Uganda tonight.
Police in Jinja today intervened in the ongoing scuffle between the veterans and the drivers that kicked off yesterday. The drivers who control the stage at Caltex in Jinja threatened to fight veterans who wanted to retake it. However, today the veterans fought their way back to take over the stage. The furious drivers who were ready to fight with the veterans were overpowered when police were called in and arrested one of them who they say was leading the fight. Jonathan Musinguzi, the district police commander of Jinja, said this was a civil matter that could be easily solved.
They are very unruly, very unruly. You see, they are never organized. I don't know how they do their things, but of course when there is a call for peace, we are the custodians of law and order. That's why we have to be there. And there is need to respect authority. You get me right? Because, for example, if the town clerk is the technical person on the ground, all these tenders in the municipal council, they fall under the town clerk. So if he has authorized the veterans to take over, what's wrong with that? Does it call for police to come here and begin the...
The drivers finally agreed to sit down with the Jitoa officials to come up with a solution.
Meanwhile, a teenager in Champisi in Deba village, Kayunga district, has survived lynching after residents found him involved in an act of bestiality. The boda cyclist plying on the Champisi Namulanda road allegedly saw the minor committing an act of bestiality on a cow belonging to a resident identified as Muchala Namayanja. He tried to flee from the scene but was wrestled down by youths. Namayanja is now asking for compensation from a cow. When asked why he did that act, he said he didn't know what was going on.
The Nation Media Group has donated relief items to the Bududa landslide victims. This follows a call made by the Uganda Red Cross Society to well-wishers to contribute a sum of 4.5 billion shillings needed to cater for the purchase of more relief items for the victims. This follows reports made about a likely outbreak of cholera in Bududa after the landslide. Our donations were made both in cash and in kind by NTV Uganda, the Monitor Publications, KFM, MTN Uganda, and East African Breweries.
As NTV, we would like to take this opportunity to send our message of condolences to the families that have been affected, both by loss of their loved ones and also by loss of their homes and the displacement that has happened. And we also take this opportunity to appeal to other corporates in whatever measure that they are able to reach out to these particular communities that have been affected.
The appeal we've made would enable us probably to take care of 100,000 people, which will probably mean that we will cover about 116 homes. We are very, very grateful to Nation Group. They have been at the forefront, first of all. They helped us last time, and they have come to help us this time. We are making an appeal to all other people who can help us. Let them come forward.
Now, Teso region is an area that has a flat plain and often floods whenever it rains heavily, destroying fields in the area that is predominantly engaged in crop farming. But one man in Amuria, Ali Ajura, has made the best of that situation by digging up ponds to farm fish. He traps water during the rainy season, and this drains the upper plains that he uses to grow other crops. Let us find out how he does it in this week's On the Farm.
These residents are fishing in a seasonal pond that has been created following the recent heavy rains in Kumi district. Food shortages and drought in the area is what has drawn these residents here. This is not always the case because during the rainy season, not enough water is often trapped here for fish. But Ali Ajura, on the other hand, always has water trapped in his land after he dug 15 ponds in his land that have since become his money minting project. So, how did he start?
I sold my 5 bulls because I saw that now if I start fish farming, no, the Karamoja will not come and take anything. I will remain with my fish and then I will be keeping on selling them. And secondly, I found that it was a very easy work, and the market was very near.
The former cattle farmer then started stocking his ponds with fish that he got from the fisheries department and from a colleague in Kajansi along Entebbe Road in Kampala. He started with about 200 fish and today boasts of close to 15,000 fish in all his ponds. Because the ponds are artificial, he has to supply the different species that range from tilapia to Nile perch and catfish with food.
And I'm using mukene mixed with the sunflower cake and then maize bran.
Where do you get them from?
I get them from Soroti.
You buy them from
Soroti? I buy them from Soroti. And then mukene I buy them from the local markets.
He now gets close to 40 million shillings a year from selling fish because his ponds are always stocked on a yearly basis, regardless of whether it's a dry or rainy season. His operational costs are low as he often feeds his stock on silverfish, locally known as mukene, and lets his fish mature before harvesting. This allows them time to reproduce. However, Ajura's trade is not without challenges.
The problems I've got here, I don't have a fence. As you have moved around, you see that we don't have a fence. And it is even good that you came here. It was the dog who helped us at night. Somebody was trying to crouch in to come and disorganize or to steal a fish here. Okay. But the dog helped us.
Ali has also managed to grow crops on higher ground where the water is drained from. He grows citrus fruits ranging from mangoes, tangerines and oranges, all of which are improved breeds that grow faster and are disease resistant.
The drought was very long. And besides that, I also ran away from here
Because of the coins and the karamojong. So I left the place. So I'm just now struggling to renovate this place.
He has managed to make a lot of money as well from the onions and garlic, which have a high local demand. He sells the garlic at 1.2 million shillings for a bag, and the bulb onions go for 500 shillings each, with an annual harvest of 80 bags. Over the years, he has managed to reap big from farming because he keeps up with modern farming methods like crop rotation and growing of improved crop varieties which are disease resistant.
Thank you, Craig Kadoda. It's time for NTV Business Now, and Malcolm Musime is in the studio to bring us just that. Malcolm, before you go on, I see government is getting interested in bringing internet services closer to the people. How are they going to do that, Malcolm?
Yeah, very interested because it fosters economic development, and there's actually a conference at Conference Center, the ITSO conference. They're trying to make sure, discussing among other things, reducing the cost of bandwidth.
Okay.
Yeah. So in NTV Business Night, we'll be bringing you all the details, as also the Bank of Uganda this morning released its monetary statement for the month of July. So join me after the break for the latest in business. Don't go away.
This time you got double, as in double word.
This is NTV.
I'm an African hustler. I'm an African hustler.
Big up for Daniel Chigozi Jr., also known as Navio, a young, dynamic and talented musician who's been one of the pioneers of the hip-hop scene in Uganda.
The Savior's here. I need 2 hymns. If I do 2 tracks, that's 2 gems. I'm just getting revved up.
Navio has spent over a decade in the industry, and his growth to become a major hip-hop star has mirrored the growth of hip-hop in Uganda.
Well, I like to hustle, like an open door. You wanna skip work, well I can do a chore. To my bank is a strength, to the world is a flaw.
At the age of 16, he formed the hip-hop group Clear Cut with 4 of his closest friends: Tom Mayanja, also known as The Myth, Jonathan Leslie, also known as J Dollar, Abalang, also known as Langwan, and Habib Abdul Hussein, also known as Papito.
To know if I pass on in UG, I'll be late. I touch wood cause I know the talks of death are not good. So to all my foes and dumb toes,
Little did they know that from humble origins, it was to be the beginning of a musical journey that would take them to uncharted heights of success and popularity with the first album, Mind, Body and Soul, in 2000.
If I'm selling papers, I thank my maker. Why you wanna hate, bro? I could be your neighbor. Ain't trying to escape the challenges in life. I can handle this.
After several years of studying, Navio officially returned to the music scene in 2008 with a degree in communication.
Good evening, Malcolm Musime. Welcome to NTV Business Tonight. And Bank of Uganda has this morning released its monetary statement for the month of July, decrying the continuous weak uptake of credit for nearly 9 months running. The Deputy Governor, Dr. Louis Kasekende, made the revelation while announcing the new central bank rate, which came down to 19% from 20%. Raina Orjun reports.
The latest monetary policy statement for the month of July, prepared by Bank of Uganda, has this morning been released in Kampala with a reduction in the central bank rate from 20 to 19% in what is aimed at scaling up private sector credit.
We've started coming down. Our expectation is that the commercial bank lending rates will start coming down. We have already seen some of the commercial banks reducing their prime lending rates. As this decline strengthens, as we further reduce this CBR, we expect the commercial banks to further reduce their prime lending rates and any other rates that they have. So,
Deputy Governor Dr. Louis Kasekende adds that the central bank is confident inflation, currently at 20%, will slide further down to single digit within the next 8 months and stabilize the economy into real growth.
The strategic objectives of Bank of Uganda's monetary policy in the short to medium term are to maintain the downward path of core inflation towards its medium-term target of 5%, while at the same time encouraging a recovery in the private sector credit from the banking system to support stronger growth in the real economy.
The financial industry regulator also remains worried that further weakening of the exchange rate, given the country's persistently large trade deficit, will require export stimulation. Reina Ojen, NTV Business.
Now, in the financial markets, the oil share index gained by 9 points, helped by the stock gains on mainly cross-listed counters. We have more in the financial market report.
Financial Report
is brought to you by
URA, developing Uganda together. All vehicles are required to revalidate their registration using our new online module and get a new logbook. All newly imported vehicles will also be registered online using this new online module. Get out of the line and get online.
Now, following the failure of fiber optic operators to significantly bring down the cost of internet services, government is now quoting satellite internet providers to step in. Speaking at the International Telecommunications Conference today, the Vice President Edward Sekandi noted that government is motivated in this effort to the realization of the importance of affordable internet towards fostering economic growth.
In the globalized world today, where a lot of trade is online based, the internet has become an integral part of commerce, supporting both purchases and marketing platforms. Developing countries like Uganda, however, feel unfairly outcompeted in this new trend of doing business with pundits, pointing at the high internet costs, especially those charged by satellite service providers.
One of the concerns of the users of the satellite communications is the high cost of bandwidth. I therefore implore ITSO and other shareholders to come up with innovative mechanisms that will make satellite communication services affordable to especially the developing countries.
Government is also counting on satellite internet service providers to support its efforts of bringing on board beneficiaries in far-flung areas of the country who today still find it expensive to purchase broadband internet.
In rural Uganda, we have succeeded in extending ICT access to all districts. We are optimistic that the new higher speed wireless technologies will help us further leverage our ICT capacity to drive up wireless broadband and enhance the range and quality of services.
That winds up business for tonight. I'll take you back to Gabriel and Faith. Thank you for watching.
Thank you, Malcolm. And have yourself a good night. Now, Joel Kamadi joins us to take us through sport. Now, Joel, what's this new developments in Tottenham?
Well, Faith, Andre Villas-Boas has sealed his return to the Barclays Premier League by taking charge at Tottenham Hotspur just 4 months after being sacked by Chelsea. Well, join me after the break for the very latest in sport as Uganda Kickboxing Federation apologizes to the nation over Moses Golola's poor show against Hungarian Mate Zomboki. All the details coming up shortly in NTV Sport.
just living it up.
Born to Dorothy and Alex Achola on June the 3rd, 1987, our star profile today, Jocelyn Tracy Keko, grew up with a vision of becoming a force to reckon with in the music industry. Keko, whose name means early in the morning, is a Japadola Ugandan artist who comes from Tororo. Keko is the last born of 3 girls and schooled from Rockview Primary School, St. Noah and Maryhill High School before pursuing a Bachelor of Commerce at Makerere University. She's a Ugandan rapper who has taken over the music scene in Africa. Her rise to fame began in 2010 with the release of Fallen Heroes, which she appeared alongside other established Ugandan artists like Don MC, SP, Davis, and also the Mwamba Children Choir. Her breakthrough single, How We Do It, took the Ugandan charts and MTV Africa by storm, making her an instant household name in East Africa. Keko has released singles such as Akelo, Black, Hey Hey, How We Do It, and Alwo. She has also featured in The Air, Shades, Go Green, Hustler's Night, Fallen Heroes, and Kwekunya Remix, and has
NTV Sports with Guinness.
Good evening and welcome to NTV Sport. I am Joel Kamadi. The Uganda Kickboxing Federation has apologized to the nation over Moses Golola's pro show against Hungarian Mate Zamboki last weekend and promised to take the fighter back to the drawing board. Golola suffered an embarrassing 6th round technical knockout to Zamboki during the middle heavyweight contest for the world title. Sam Poza spoke to the Federation spokesperson Eddie Gombia and now reports.
The Uganda Kickboxing Federation has advised the professional fighter Moses Golola to accept his problem and embark on the training for basic skills. Federation Organizing Secretary and spokesperson Eddie Gombia tells NTV Sport Golola can make a better kickboxer provided he can believe in the local coaches and make good use of them.
This time we are going to do our best to call Golola Moses to come for the training in ghetto. We don't need these smart gyms. No. Please let Golola come back in ghetto. We train you seriously.
Gombia blames Golola's embarrassing loss to Zamboki on lack of fitness and basic skills. He challenges Golola to rebuild his career from the lower ranks by participating in the national title fights before contesting for the bigger international titles.
We give you these national kickboxers who are requesting you. Please come and fight them. After fighting them, then at least we focus maybe South African representative. He comes here, you fight him. Then at least you can focus on the rematch of Nagi.
Immediately after the fight, Golola told his fans that he will be fighting against Zamboki in a rematch sometime next year, but the federation has warned him against it. Sam Poza, NTV Sport.
Moving on now, and as countries worldwide still aim at qualifying more athletes for this year's London Olympic Games, Team Uganda's media coverage has been catered for with a return ticket for USPA Vice President Hussein Ahmed by Umeme. Now, Umeme earlier offered Team Uganda 14 air tickets in a bid to support Uganda's campaign to win medals during the event. The Uganda Olympic Committee are yet to confirm the number of athletes to participate in the Games pending the participation of Ugandan athletes in the Ghana Grand Prix due this week. Athletes Ali Ngaimoko and Sarah Nambara are expected to try their luck during the event in a bid to qualify for the Games, which begin later this month.
We encourage everybody to get behind the Ugandan athletes and really make sure that we have a great time this London summer. London is calling. And I'd like to make sure that all of the Ugandan sportsmen get the most support from everybody here in Uganda.
Now on to hockey, and a team of 13 Kampala hockey players have traveled to Tanga in Tanzania to participate in the East Africa Hockey Championships due this weekend. The 3-day event hosted by the Tanzania Hockey Association has attracted 12 teams from across the region.
Kampala Hockey Club men's team will be working to avert last year's poor performance when the East Africa Hockey Championship kicks off this weekend in Tanzania. A team of 13 men left the country this afternoon for Tanga to participate in the 3-day championship hosted by the Tanzania Hockey Association. Kampala Hockey Club played 3 group games last year and they were able to settle for a draw in 1 before losing the 2. However, team captain Doja Kawalia believes, despite last year's poor performance, the team is well prepared this time round.
Because this is our second time we are going to take part, and this time we have a very young squad. We've trained hard and everyone is ready, everyone is in good shape. We even recruited a coach, Joshua Polot, and so everything is in order. We have been sponsored and we are living and we are ready to play, we are ready to compete and we are ready to win.
Apparently, Kampala Hockey Club are lying 4th in the National Hockey League table. Sam Poza, NTV Sport.
And finally, on the international scene, Andre Villas-Boas has sealed his return to the Barclays Premier League by taking charge at Tottenham Hotspur. 4 months after being sacked by Chelsea, the Portuguese will bid to revive his career across London at White Hart Lane. Villas-Boas flew into the capital last night to finalize the deal and is expected to be officially presented next week. Chelsea boss Andre Villas-Boas has been appointed the new head coach of Tottenham Hotspur 3 weeks after Harry Redknapp was sacked. Villas-Boas returns to football on a 3-year contract 4 months after his dismissal at Chelsea. Despite winning the Portuguese domestic double and the European League at Porto in 2010-2011, Villas-Boas was sacked by Chelsea less than 12 months into a 3-year contract in March. In the wake of Redknapp's dismissal, former France coach Laurent Blanc, Wigan's Roberto Martinez, Fabio Capello and former Tottenham striker Jürgen Klinsmann were linked to the post before the ex-Porto boss emerged as Spurs' preferred candidate. Spain's victorious football team have been feted on the streets of Madrid after flying home from the Ukraine with the Euro 2012 trophy. After beating Italy 4-0 in Kiev on Sunday night, the Spanish contingent flew home on Monday afternoon to a rousing reception in the capital. Earlier, Captain Iker Casillas and manager Vicente Del Bosque proudly paraded the trophy as they stepped off their flight at Barajas Airport. From there, it was on to a welcome party with Spanish King Juan Carlos at La Zarzuela Palace before they took to the streets in an open-top bar celebration.
Are you ready to drink at the table of men?
And that's all the sport we had for you tonight. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Joe Kamadi, for that. Well, let's now have a look at Wednesday's weather prospects. Okay, let's now go back to tonight's NTV poll, and we asked you, do you support the police's decision to ban public gatherings outdoors? The final poll result is out. 40% of you are saying yes, you do support the initiative of the police, while 60% of our respondents tonight disagree.
Well, we thank you so much for all your comments tonight. Let's now sample some of them.
Okay, we'll start with Ejoku Herbert, who says yes, they should, because we're tired of the Ugandan opposition thinking that they can turn the country into an Egypt. Never.
And Okia Marvin here says, no, the police should stop acting by remote, but carry out proper roles and responsibilities of the police in any given state.
Okay, Ocho Constantine, you say a big no, police should go by their slogan, protect and serve. I don't see any of the above in what they want to unlawfully implement.
And Jelly here from Gulu says, no, that is abuse of human rights to freedom of expression.
Well, thank you so much for all of your responses. NTV poll will be back tomorrow, so do endeavor to contribute. We appreciate all of your contributions. And that winds up NTV Tonight. I am Gabriel Apenu.
And I'm Faith Ariho. Good night.
Bye-bye.
This is NTV.
In Star Profile today, we look at IJ's other half, Irene Namubiru. She had her education at Mitiana Senior Secondary School, Bugema Adventist, after which she continued to Namasagali College, where she did a lot. In Star Profile today, we look at IJ's other half, Irene Namubiru. She had her education at Mitiana Senior Secondary School, Bugema Adventist, after which she continued to Namasagali College, where she did a lot of singing. During her senior 4 VAC, she met Ragadi, expressing her ambitions to sing. She did an audition and joined the Homies, which consisted of Ragadi, DJ Messi and Irene. Altogether, the trio released their first single, Bamusa Kata. Irene had her first concert on the 17th September 1995, and that was her first time to hit the entertainment headlines in the local papers. At this point, she decided to do music professionally and earn money from it. But at the same time, she also knew that she had to continue with her education. When she was done with school, she joined a live band where they used to perform mainly at corporate functions. In 1999, she joined Juliana Kanyomozi, her former schoolmate at Namasagali College, and together they formed the R&B all-girl group called IJ. In 2000, they released a single-track album titled Vive la Vie, which they never sold but launched nonetheless, 1 month after which she left for France, thus disbanding the group. While in France, she formed the Afro-soul group Nujeli in 2001 with the help of Julien Grout, releasing songs like Nsanji, Echo. Later on, Irene joined forces with singer Baby Cool in the song Simbalala, among many others. The songs enjoyed critical acclaim and moderately good airplay in Uganda. However, Irene didn't achieve widespread success until 2006, when she released her album, which won the R&B single category in 2006 at the Palm Award. Since then, turning back has never been an option for Irene, who has released hit song after hit, which have earned her several leading awards in the Uganda music industry. In 2011, Irene capped the most successful year ever by winning in 4 categories of the 2011 Palm Awards. She won in the categories of Artist of the Year, Female Artist of the Year, Album of the Year, and Best R&B Single of the Year. The mother of 2 has, besides singing as a profession, made making friends her specialty, as she becomes the first Ugandan to rub shoulders with Ronaldinho, one of the best footballers in the world.